Day number 8 of Chicago Bears training camp is in the books, and we have a lot of stuff to discuss. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears training camp update video, which I'll be giving you guys every single day this year during training camp. So if you guys want all the latest updates on what's happening with the Chicago Bears in training camp, definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm back in Chicagoland now, back from vacation, which feels good to be back, right? But I only got like 30 minutes of sleep last night, so I'm super sleepy, super tired right now. So I apologize if I forget the name of a player or like mix up the names of different players because I'm running on 30 minutes of sleep, okay? So I'm barely alive right now, but had to get this video out for you guys before I take a nap and probably pass out for the rest of my Friday night. But enough talking about me. Let's talk about the Chicago Bears and what happened at practice today. And basically, it was a 90-minute practice, fully padded, open to the public as well. So I'm sure a lot of you guys went to practice today. If you did go, I hope you guys had a lot of fun. There were a couple players out today though, which it was not revealed why they were out of practice. So guys like Kyler Gordon, Robert Quinn, a couple others were out as well. So some members of the defense did not play today, which again, I'm assuming it's probably just a rest day because they didn't talk about any injury that kept them out. But I guess we'll get more information tomorrow. And if those guys are still out, then they might actually be injured. But right now I'm assuming it's probably just rest. Fingers crossed. But getting into my biggest story of the day, guys, I want to start talking about Braxton Jones. Okay, rookie tackle Braxton Jones, because this guy is honestly making a case to start week 1 at left tackle. Okay, 5th round pick out of Southern Utah, a guy that I don't think any Bears fan, besides maybe like the most diehard Braxton Jones fans, maybe like his family, maybe they projected him to be the starter week 1 at left tackle, but I don't think any other Bears fan or media member or analyst or anybody predicted that to happen. But it might actually happen because now it's been 3 consecutive practices, okay, 3 consecutive padded practices that Braxton Jones has started at left tackle and played every single first team snap. Guys, this usually does not happen, okay? You usually do not see a 5th round pick from a small school be inserted into the starting lineup at left tackle this often, okay, in preseason, in training camp, and even in the OTAs, guys. He took the majority of the snaps at left tackle. Back then, I thought that it was kind of just trying to give a rookie some snaps and seeing what he had with it. I didn't think that he would actually be at left tackle still, in training camp when the pads came out, but he's still there, guys. Okay, he shocked me. He surprised everybody else with his development, and seems like the Bears, offensive staff, the coaching staff is extremely high on Braxton Jones, and honestly, with good reason, because so far in camp, he's been holding his own against some of the better pass rushers the Bears have to offer. Offensive coordinator Luke Getsy talked about Braxton Jones today in his press conference. He said that you get into the pads and there was zero intimidation. Going against Robert Quinn, your very first one-on-one pass rush, right? It's an intimidating thing, but he stepped up and did a great job. He's answered the bell. So, Getsy talked about how, Braxton has shown basically no fear at all while going up against guys like Robert Quinn. Okay, Robert Quinn is coming off an 18.5 sack season. Okay, he broke the Bears' single season sack record last year, and Braxton's been doing a pretty good job against him so far in camp. Okay, even going up against the other guys. Today, Al-Quadin Muhammad, according to Nicholas Moriano, he said that Braxton Jones had a really good block on Muhammad. Justin Fields had enough time to find Byron Pringle. And if you look at all the highlights, guys, that are up on Twitter right now, the bootleg footage from fans, for the majority of these highlights, guys, you can see the left side is pretty solid in most of them, okay? The pressure that does come through, it's mostly coming in from the interior, okay? So I'm a little bit worried about the interior right now. Like the center spot is very iffy right now because Lucas Patrick is out, so we have Mustafa and the rookie Doug Kramer fighting for snaps at center, and it's not been going the best for them so far, but the left side has not seen that much pressure at all, okay? I'm sure he's allowed some pressure here and there, like he's not perfect, obviously he's had some bad reps, but I'm seeing a lot more good reps than bad reps, and that's pretty shocking to see out of a 5th round pick that a lot of people thought would need time to develop in the NFL. And make no mistake about it, guys, it's way too early to be getting hyped about this. Like, I'm not gonna put insane amounts of pressure on Braxton Jones to be our starting left tackle this year, or even to perform good if he is our starting left tackle, because he is a rookie, guys, and rookie tackles especially, that's such a hard position to learn and master in the NFL. But if you look at his build, his intangibles, his tape in college, you can see why the Chicago Bears fell in love with him, okay? He's 6'5", he has very long arms, very athletic as well, so a perfect fit in a wide zone Shanahan type of scheme that Luke Getsy is going to run. And he dominated at the college football level. Okay, his tape was really good in college football, but the only thing was that he went up against lesser competition at Southern Utah. So it remains to be seen if that will translate into the NFL, when the games actually start. But so far in camp, it really has. Okay, he's looked like a pretty strong tackle so far in practice. Again, guys, super early. Don't be getting too hyped about this just yet, but this is like a really good development coming out of camp because we need guys to step up on the O-line, and Braxton Jones so far definitely has done that. So keep an eye on Braxton Jones going forward. We'll see if he still takes snaps at left tackle in the coming weeks, but right now I'm thinking, man, he might actually be our starter week 1 at left tackle. Moving on to the next story of the day, let's talk about our tight end Cole Kmet. Another guy that's been having a pretty strong camp up to this point. Okay, the day that I went, he made a fantastic highlight reel catch. He's been making a number of plays basically every single day. Okay, he's had some moments where he's gotten locked up against Jaquan Brisker. Okay, another guy that's been having a really good camp. Jaquan Brisker has made a ton of plays against Cole Kmet, but Cole Kmet has also had his fair share of plays as well up to this point in camp. And today he had another strong day of practice. So according to Adam John, so he said the same drill versus scout team, Justin Fields connects deep to Cole Kmet. So he had a pretty nice pass deep to Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet had a nice route there. I'll put the video on the screen right now so you guys can see. He also made a couple more plays in the passing game by catching screen passes. So on 3rd and 7, Moriano said that Justin Fields threw the ball to Cole Kmet on his screen to the left. Kmet lowers his shoulder to pick up the first down. Kmet made contact with Jalen Johnson on the play, and Kmet smiled at him after getting the first down. Love that, okay? Absolutely love that. We need more of Cole Kmet being physical and pushing guys to the ground, lowering his shoulder into them, because that's what he did in college football. And that's one reason why I feel like Ryan Pace even wanted to draft Cole Kmet, because obviously we had a big need at tight end back then, but his athleticism, his physicality was a reason why a lot of NFL scouts had him ranked as a 2nd or 3rd round prospect in that year's draft. Now, obviously, we haven't seen too much of that displayed in the NFL so far. That's also partly because Matt Nagy kind of used Cole Kmet as a security blanket type of guy. There wasn't too many designed, passes going to Cole Kmet, but we should see that change this year, guys, because Luke Getsy has already talked about how he wants to make Cole Kmet a big part of this offense, and we're already seeing that, a lot in camp up to this point. So big gear, guys, for Cole Kmet. Okay, he basically has to have a great season to prove to the Chicago Bears, front office that he belongs on this roster long term, because he's headed into year 3 now, and if he doesn't have a breakout season, I would say there's a good chance he could be gone next year or the year after that when he's a free agent. So big year for Kmet. Hopefully he steps up and proves to the Bears that he has what it takes to be good tight end in the NFL, because the Bears passing offense badly needs him to be good this year. Going to the next story of the day, guys, let's talk about how the Chicago Bears offense and Justin Fields did today as a whole. I've already talked about some individual players like Braxton Jones, Cole Kmet, but how did the offense do as a whole? And overall, the vibes I was getting on Twitter from the reporters, from the people there, was that the Bears offense had a pretty decent day for the most part, and same with Justin Fields. Okay, Justin Fields did make his handful of mistakes, so he did overthrow Equanimeous St. Brown on a double move where he was wide open, but Fields cannot get the ball to him. Still working on that chemistry, I guess, with these new receivers. Fields also threw an interception on a pass to Tajay Sharp, which was intercepted by somebody on the scout team defense. So 2 bad plays there by Justin Fields. Not good, obviously, but he also had his handful of really good plays as well today in practice, and there was more good than bad. He was going up against the scout team defense, though, for the majority of practice, because they're working on game prep already, which is pretty neat, right? Because Matt Nagy never actually did that this early in camp. Adam Johns talked about how they never really had scouted looks and scouted plays, basically prepping for game time this early in camp. But that's what they did today in practice. Okay, going up against a scout team is what you do in the regular season when you're trying to game prep, and they did some of that today in practice. Okay, so talking about some good plays that Justin Fields had. So he did have a very nice deep ball to Velus Jones. Him and Velus have connected on a deep ball basically every other day or almost every day of practice, right? Like you get at least one deep ball from Fields to Velus, just because Velus is extremely fast. He's outrunning a lot of our DBs, and Fields has a pretty nice deep ball. So glad to see that connection continuing to grow every single day. He also found Equanimeous St. Brown on a deep fly route, catching it easily over the DBs. Brendan also said his size is such an advantage, which totally agree with that, guys. Equanimeous St. Brown is a tall freak of nature. I talked about that in my last video, and it's good to see him continuing to make plays basically every single day. He also got open earlier on in practice, like I talked about, which feels just completely overthrew him. But that was a good route, guys. Good double move by Equinamia St. Brown. Fields also had a number of impressive throws to Byron Pringle. I'll put one on the screen right now. Okay, you can see an out route by Byron Pringle. And guys, the timing on this pass has to be perfect. Okay, you can't be a millisecond too early or too late, because then the play is not going to be completed. Okay, this is a very tight window type of pass where the timing has to be precise. Okay, throw the ball when he's coming out of his breaks, and Justin Fields did just that and connected with Byron Pringle on a pretty good route there, going down the sideline. So these anticipation throws by Justin Fields are a lot better this year than they were last year so far in camp. Okay, obviously last year he didn't have much time to practice with the receivers. Okay, he was a backup quarterback last year in camp. Okay, Matt Nagy had him as quarterback number 2, so he didn't get a chance to work with these receivers every single day of camp and get the timing correct on these routes. But now he does, and he's taking advantage of those snaps. Okay, his accuracy, his timing, his anticipation seems a lot better than it was last year in camp, which is a good sign. Okay, it's one area where he had to improve off of from last year. So overall, I would say up and down day for Justin Fields, more ups than there were downs, but overall, I would say a solid day of practice. Talking about the defense now, though, let's move on to the defense. I want to talk about Jaquan Brisker again, because my God, man, this guy is making plays basically every single day. Okay, I don't want to talk about the same players over and over again in every single video, but when I'm getting reports on one player every single day, I mean, I have to talk about that player, right? I mean, Jaquan Brisker made another fantastic play on the ball today in practice going up against Cole Kmet. So according to Brendan Sugre, he said that Fields found Kmet for what would have been a nice gain, but Brisker pops the ball out as he went to the ground. The hype is real. He's making plays on the ball. Brisker, guys, I'm telling you, he could be a dog this year in the back end of our defense. He's physical, he's a playmaker, he has a nose for the ball, he's instinctive, he's all the things that Eberflus wants on this defense. And you can really tell, guys, why they drafted him in the second round. Okay, obviously a lot of us wanted playmakers on the offense, and I still kind of think what would happen if we drafted George Pickens, right? Because George Pickens is going off for the Steelers right now in camp. But regardless, guys, Brisker himself has been having a very good camp up to this point, okay? Making plays on the ball, getting interceptions, PBUs, being in the right place at the right time. I mean, the arrow is pointing upwards, guys, for Jaquan Brisker, and he could honestly be our rookie of the year this year, like our best rookie of this draft class so far. Okay, I'm high on Kyler Gordon too. Kyler Gordon does have all the traits, all the intangibles to be great eventually, but cornerback is, I feel like, a harder position to play than safety, and Jaquan is more NFL ready than Kyler Gordon was coming out of college. So you can expect Jaquan Brisker hopefully to be making a lot of plays in the back end of our defense this year. Talking more about the defense, so Adam Johns said the defense won the 1-minute drill versus Fields and company, and they've won this drill a lot of times so far in camp. Okay, the 2-minute and 1-minute drill, the defense has definitely been on top of the offense in these drills. Now, that might be due to the offense not being good enough in these drills. So it's definitely, that factors into the equation. But the defense has also been very solid in not allowing big plays in these drills at the end of games. And that's one area where the Bears struggled mightily last year. Okay, we lost, I can think of 2 games off the top of my head where Steelers game and the Ravens game, we allowed big play going down the field in the final seconds to lose us those games. Okay, we were not good in the last 1 or 2 minutes of games, but hopefully we can improve on that this year. And then finally, the last trade I want to talk about of the day, an update on the Tevin Jenkins situation, which is just honestly such a weird situation at this point because I really don't know what to think about it, especially after a quote like this. So according to Adam Hogue, so Luke Getsy was asked if Tevin Jenkins has been an active participant in meetings so far in camp, and he said that, oh yeah, Tevin has been great. He's been attentive. He's all in. Yeah, once he gets through this deal, he'll be back out there ready to rock and roll. What? Okay, Tevin Jenkins has not been practicing for the past 7 days. Okay, and I'm a big Tevin Jenkins fan. I hope they find a way to resolve the situation and bring him back in practice and have him competing for the right tackle job, because he's too good to just like let go and trade for nothing, okay? Because that's basically what would happen if we traded him. It would be basically for nothing. So I don't think we should trade him. But what does this quote even mean? Okay, he's attentive in meetings, but he's not on the football field. Like even Roquan Smith, who's not practicing, he's still on the football field. And the other injured guys, a lot of them are still on the football field, interacting with all their teammates. So I don't understand why they're not letting Tevin Jenkins practice right now and not even having him on the football field. If he is injured, why don't they tell us what that injury is, especially when there's so many rumors out there about fights going on between Tevin Jenkins and the offensive coaching staff. Like, a lot of stuff out there could be complete BS, but the Bears are not shutting this down at all. So I have no idea what to think about the situation, but hopefully it gets resolved soon, because this is dragging on for way too long at this point. But that's pretty much all the reports I have for you guys today. The Bears are off again tomorrow. They'll be back again on Sunday, so I'll have another video out for you guys on Sunday. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. Leave your comments down below. Enjoy your weekend, guys, and as always, bear down.